This episode of the Sports Box is brought to you by Mic'd Up Entertainment and DJ Mike Velardi. For all of your event planning needs, make sure you contact Mike at 609-864-5925 and tell him that you saw him on the Sports Box.
Well, hello again and welcome to the show that's just like a meatloaf with all the trimmings. This is the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Letta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, and I also love meatloaf. And this is my partner, Brian, the Ranger Retard. Brian, how are you today?
The singer or the meal?
The meal. I love
okay.
meal. Yeah,
I'm not a fan of either.
Not a big meatloaf fan.
Just wanted that clarification.
Yeah, I'm not that old. But anyway, today we are going to express a rumor that we heard. A rumor. Well, actually, our sources. We will not reveal them. That the Eagles and the Tennessee Titans, technically the Eagles are one of the front runners for the Brandin Cooks from the New Orleans Saints. Now, Brian, I'm going to start off by saying the question I have is, now this would be a trade. He's not a free agent, correct. So it would be a trade to New Orleans. My question is, here's a guy with 24 years old, a lot of upside. Actually, I think he's 23. A lot of upside, 1,200 yards last year. He's had 1,000-yard seasons a couple years in a row now. Why would the Saints try to get rid of him? Is he a bad guy? Is it the money issue that's going to be down the road when his contract comes out? Because he is going to get paid. I mean, why would the Saints want to get rid of him? But it's probably because of Michael Thomas.
Well, yeah, so you mentioned he's 23 years old. He was a first-round pick in 2014. And obviously, whenever a team is looking to get rid of a player like that, you got to wonder why. Yep. You got to wonder, what do they know?
And here's a bad team like New Orleans too. So it's not like they have a lot of assets to get rid of.
Yeah, I think for me, and those of you who have been following the Sports Box through last season, the New Orleans Saints defense is not good. No. That's a rumor, huge if true. So they really need to make sure that they're spreading their assets around. Yep. And it's very possible that he's going to be, obviously, he'll be a free agent after this season, and they may not just be in a position to be able to pay.
No. I think they got to concentrate more on the defensive side of the ball than they do out.
And not just that, but here's some fair questions about Brandin Cooks, okay? Who is he without the following factors? Drew Brees throwing him the ball.
Yep.
Sean Payton with a pass-happy offense. And a dome for at least 8 of his games.
Fast track,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those are fair questions because you have no idea of knowing. But the rumor here is that the Eagles could potentially get Brandin Cooks for a second-round pick. I think if they can get him for a second-round pick, it makes a lot of sense. And I say that because I think everybody gets enamored with drafting receivers. The problem with drafting receivers is you don't know what they're going to be at the pro level. You have a little bit more knowledge of Brandin Cooks than you do of any of these guys.
Like a Mike Williams or Corey Davis. They still haven't proven themselves in the league.
How many guys have been first-round draft picks in the NFL?
How about Hayward Bay?
Sure.
That moved up for the Cousins of the Combine. Number 7 overall pick for the Raiders.
I mean, it's just, again, everybody wants to get these wide receivers in the draft. I mean, you don't have to look back. Look back at the 2013 draft, just as an example. Here's your top 5 receivers taken in that draft. 8th was Tavon Austin. Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, the 27th. Okay, fine. Right. Cordero Patterson at 29th.
Yeah,
Justin Hunter, 34th, and Robert Woods, 41st. So in the top 41 picks, these 5 guys went. Really, only one of them is relevant for the most part, right?
Yeah,
Do you really want to expend a pick to that?
No, I think you take it if you can get, like you said, a second-round pick to give away for Brandin Cooks, they do it. But if you get him first, you don't give him first for him.
No,
even though he's a proven guy, and like you said, he's done it. He's going to be good. The problem is, you got to get something out of these guys while they're younger. Because if you don't, and you're not set up for the long haul, when this guy goes to a contract and he's ready to sign money, he's going to be $12 or $13 million easily. So
in this league,
right? And that's what New Orleans is looking for. They're looking for down the road that if they have to pay this guy, then they'll worry about their defense. I agree with that. And if I were the Eagles personally, I don't know if I would do this trade because unless you can trade a second-round pick for him. Like Brian said, I would do it. But I don't think New Orleans is going to want a second. I think they're going to want first.
He's interesting to me because of his age. He's still young. And he's produced at the level.
And he can grow with Carson Wentz if he needs to.
Right. Now, to me, I'm looking at it from the Eagles' standpoint going into the draft. I think no matter what happens, they need to trade down in this draft. Because they have so many holes to fill, right? Yeah. And you think about, what can you go find in free agency versus what you can draft. The Eagles of all teams know how hard it is to go find a free agent cornerback. Exhibit A.
They need a cornerback badly.
Exhibit A, Nnamdi Asomugha, who was the best corner in the league, came to Philly, was a bust. Exhibit B, Byron Maxwell, Legion of Boom member, came to Philadelphia, was a bust, got jettisoned the year after.
I think Maxwell was a situation where you look at Seattle as a whole.
Yes.
He was in there. He wasn't the main cock. He was a guy looking like he was the man.
Sure.
And once you took him out and you gave him all that money, there you go. There's exposed. The only guy that hasn't been exposed is Norman when he went to Washington. I said he was going to be exposed, but he's played well.
But you make such an excellent point. In that cornerbacks and really, guys in the secondary, defensive backs as a whole, they're a product of the system that they're in.
Exactly.
Right? They have talent, no question, but it's got to be a fit. Maxwell didn't fit well with the Eagles. Neither really did Asamoah when he was here, but they were great in Oakland for Asamoah, great in Seattle for Maxwell. It's a lot easier to find a free agent fit at receiver. Like, you don't necessarily have to come up with the team to be successful as a wide receiver, because every team, whether you need a number one or a slot guy or a possession guy, these are roles that other players can fill.
Yep.
But you look at secondary guys for different teams and how they can move around. I just don't think that that's always the easiest thing to do. If I'm the Eagles, I'm trading down no matter what to get more picks. I need to fill needs. I think they should absolutely go secondary in the first round without a question.
They got to go to second. They got to go to second.
If you get a guy like Cooks with a second round pick, that's great. If you can move down in your first and another second round pick to address secondary again, now that's where it gets very interesting. If I'm the Eagles, I'm signing receivers. I'm not using draft picks on.
I think they hold pat and see what happens with the defensive backs in this draft. If they can get a guy they think is going to be a solid defensive corner, then you take him. But like Brian said, if that guy's off the board, you don't take the best corner on the board. You move out of that spot down a little bit, pick up another pick maybe, and then go from there. With the running back situation too, they're not going to go with running back early. This draft's loaded with running backs. I think they can steal a running back in the third round and still get some durability out of them. So the wide receiver, unless they trade for him, I don't see them picking a wide receiver in the first round.
No, I can't see it either. I don't think it makes sense for them.
No, quarterback you got to look at the cornerback position. If you don't have good corners, you're always going to have a good receiver out there, the primary receiver out there, like a Dez Bryant or a Odell Beckham Jr. or one of those guys that's going to get downfield and it's going to burn the corner. So you don't have good cornerbacks. It's going to be a long day for your defense. They're going to be on the field all day long getting beat. So that's why the Eagles need to try to stop that, slow some people down so they get more exposure to the run, and they can slow the run down, even though they're losing Benny Logan probably.
Well, I really think fantasy football has affected the way people view this
Absolutely.
position.
Absolutely.
Everybody's looking at, we got to draft. I would challenge anybody to tell me in the last 10 years of a team that won the Super Bowl because of their receivers.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
In closing, I'll say Brandon Marshall is out there. I don't want Brandon Marshall. And number 2 is Alshon Jeffrey. I think Alshon Jeffrey's going to be about $14 million, and I don't want Alshon Jeffrey either. I think Brandin Cooks is the way to go, Eagles. If you can't get him, then you got to go to Plan B. So then maybe draft the guy.
But I would still
second or third round.
I just think given how hard it is to sign secondary guys, defensive backs, how easy it is to find receivers on the open market.
You need a corner. You
draft
absolutely need. You can even bring in an Eric Decker or a Kenny Stills. I mean, they're fine.
But these are guys that are made by their quarterbacks. I mean, you can find these players.
Well,
it's so hard to find.
We always talk about that. The players are players that are products of their system.
Yes.
Not to say if you put Brady on another team, what he's done. I don't know. I mean, that's soon to be determined. I mean, the offense is the offense, but he has to run it. So you can say that about a lot of teams, but a lot of players are a product of their environment. So we will see. It's going to be very interesting. So that's all we have on the Brandin Cooks rumor. So keep an eye out. We always got good stuff coming.
Absolutely. We're on Twitter at Sportsbox Show, where Mike does a real nice job of getting some really good.
And get on Twitter for crying out loud. Follow us, will you? Follow us.
Absolutely. And while you're there, check us out on Facebook too at Sportsbox Show. We get a lot of exclusive content to our Facebook subscribers as well, with some live videos from time to time. So check us out there as well. You'll definitely see the video of Berman versus Galetta, the field goal kicking challenge.
That classic.
That's there. That came out really good, guys. Make sure you check it out. You get a laugh or two.
Yep.
And of course, the YouTube channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, you have the opportunity to. At the end of the show, you'll see the Sportsbox logo right over here. 2 clicks, you get all of our fresh content. I mean, listen, it's all free with a money-back guarantee. Check it out.
I like the money-back guarantee. And just a little sneak. We're not going to reveal the whole thing to you, but we could have something big in April. The end of April. So keep an eye out for that. We will announce that very soon, so we will let you know. But remember, at the Sportsbox, the only opinion that matters is right here.
Like from here, back this way, back to the backdrop. It's all right here.
See you.
Don't forget to subscribe.